I'm pretty excited. I'm really worried about it only being an hour because I tell you, when I was doing research on this, I was just like, just so. I even watched a couple of documentaries on Martha.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, she was
Thank
amazing.
you.
And Rita was saying before the show. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just saying because I was doing research before also, and I really wasn't familiar with Martha, and I was an English major, and I can remember going through Hemingway and learning about all these other people, and I'm like, why was there a huge gap? Why is this the first time,
Absolutely.
that I'm
Yeah,
learning
no,
about
it's a
this person?
terrible thing. I'm hoping to battle a little of that with this book, but she was married to him for 5 years, and he just completely overshadowed her in reputation, and it was very unfair. She was as good a writer and as a better war correspondent than he ever was. But it's feminism. That's what the book deals with too.
Yeah. Is it true that he stole her ticket to go to Normandy, went to Paris, and was partying while she pretended to be a nurse on a Navy ship to get to the battle?
Yeah, yeah, that's a true story. That's in the book. She uh,
Oh,
she she had war correspondence credentials from Collier magazine because she's been covering World War II for a couple of years. He decides everybody knows the Normandy invasion is coming, so he talks Collier's into giving him her credentials so that he can cover Normandy, and she's left not able to be there. Well, he gets drunk, gets into a car crash in London, and spends the Normandy invasion in a hotel room in London. She, meanwhile, without credentials, sneaks on board a Navy medical ship, and she becomes the only female to land at Normandy. I think I forget the number, but something like 260,000 men and Martha Gellhorn. Can I hold the book up now, Jason?
oh
I'm
yeah, go
gonna
for it.
sooner or later. It's all covered here in whoa, this book. I'm really proud of it. It's Busting Stones: The Trials and Treasures of Martha Gellhorn. And my books usually don't make much of a splash, but this one came out, and the next day, Amazon named it the number one new release in women's history studies. I have no idea how that
Nice.
happened, but I'm not complaining.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
anyway, I do a little bit of try to get Martha's name in front of the public.
Yeah,
She deserves it.
we haven't said her
So,
last name yet, have we? Gellhorn, right?
Yeah, Gellhorn, right?
Martha Gellhorn.
so what made you interested in her, and how did you first learn about her and
I
decide to
I
dive deep into
I,
this?
I was I'm mostly a humor writer and a crime novelist, but I put out a book last year on a hitman, a biography of the hitman Trigger Burke, and everybody really responded to it. So I said, "Well, I've got to do another biography." And I looked around. I said, "I should do a woman this time. It's just for change." And I came down to two. It was between Martha Gellhorn and a gal named Anna Sage, who was the woman in red who fingered the FBI for John Dillinger. They shot down Dillinger coming out of a theater because she said, "I'll be with him, and I'll wear a red dress." I thought that was a terrific story too. But I looked up the both of them. There was almost nothing on Sage, just a few paragraphs. I couldn't find anything. And there was a ton of things on Martha Gellhorn, just book after book. I should hype a better book than mine, to tell the truth. This is her biography. It's by a Brit named Carolyn Moorhead, and she did a lot of great research. So anyway,
Hmm.
that's what I keyed off. I keyed off this book, and then I decided to tell the story of women's lib in the 20th century because Martha's life spanned the 20th century. She was born in 1908 and killed herself in 1998. So that's how it came to be.
Wow. Wow, she
Yeah,
killed herself?
she did. She committed suicide, and I I expostulate in the book that three things caused it. Uh, she helped liberate Dachau, the German death camp in World War II, and that completely destroyed her. And then she lived through Vietnam. She covered that, and she couldn't believe the horror of that mess. And then finally, she was personally raped while living in North Africa, well into her early 80s. And those three things just kind of, to me, scrambled her mind and just led to her suicide.
Well, based on so I'm a journalist and I do a lot of health and lifestyle and that. So it sounds like she had a lot of PTSD that probably would have been undiagnosed and she wouldn't have been able to get any kind of help. That's a lot of trauma for one person.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you're
compounded.
absolutely right. I do a chapter on that too, Rena, about she had all the symptoms of post-traumatic stress syndrome. And it's a sad story. I originally planned to end the book with her suicide, but I'm in this terrific writers group called the Carrot Cakes, of all things. And the Carrot Cakes all say, you can't end on a downer like this. So I added an extra chapter where I pay homage to all the women in my life who somehow carry on the spirit of Martha Gellhorn. They're tough, they're strong, they're committed. And that's my final chapter. If anybody doesn't feel like reading the whole book, I hope they read the last chapter and see how I feel about the women in my life.